Hi, my name is Justin, aka Ghost Reader, and today I'm coming to you with a book review of the book Twisted, the Tangled History of Black Hair Culture by Emma Dabiri. This is published by HarperCollins Publishers and through the imprint Harper Perennial, and it is out in bookstores now, so you can pick it up. Actually, if you're in the UK, this book is already available under a different name. I forget what that name is, but I picked up this book, one, because I wanted to add more black authors to my TBR. A lot of the books that I request from NetGalley are I just see topics that I'm interested in and kind of just pick them up. But I wanted to try to pick more books that I'm interested in, of course, but that are also by black authors. So trying to make that effort to look and see who the author is. But that was one reason. The second reason was I thought it'd be very interesting to see someone delve into the topic of black hair culture and to learn more about it. I myself am African American, and I wanted to see what the discourse was on black hair. And so in this book, Emma Dabiri, through a series of essays, talks about not only her own experience as being a half black, half white girl growing up in Ireland at a time where there weren't many black people there, how she felt ashamed of her own hair, how she felt disconnected because people around her didn't have the same kind of hair, and that people didn't really know what to do with her hair because it wasn't like theirs. And then, of course, coming to growing up and coming to realize and celebrate her own hair, her own hairstyles, and coming to love her natural hair. And so not only does she talk about her own experience, but she goes kind of through the history of black hair culture, how in Africa, the different styles that originated from there and that were brought over to the U.S. and to Britain by African American slaves, by African slaves who were sent to the Americas in the U.K., and how our hair was viewed by Europeans. So it was viewed as something unkempt, unruly, associated with everything bad, and that the European standard of hair was the best kind of hair. And so that attitude, unfortunately, got assumed into the black community because they many tried to assimilate into the white community, and also didn't have some of them didn't have a lot of skills of how to deal with their own hair, and eventually you have products that are marketed to African American or African people in the UK who are Afro of descent with products that to straighten your hair, whether that be the hot hair comb or La Perm, Madam C.J. Walker's products, things like that. And so she kind of goes through that history, how do you, and how we came to have this movement today. And she goes into the nuances of it. Like, for example, talking about how, today we think we're all hip and we're ahead of the curve on this natural hair stuff. But while we celebrate it today and may think that it's something new, that in the 60s, their celebration of natural hair was more radical because they separated it from capitalism in a way. They were anti-capitalist. So now we kind of have the natural hair movement kind of caught up in capitalism, where we're marketing, here are products you can buy by these big corporations to get that natural hair look and make it look good and stuff. But how back in like the 60s and 70s, it was divorced from this capitalist thing. Also, one thing that I learned was the Afro, may associated with like something that's African. It may have Afro aesthetic, but isn't African in origin. African culture is more to do something with your hair, to style it rather than just to like let it grow. And so basically this book, I think, is really good because it does a really in-depth look at where a lot of attitudes towards our hair, or black hair, comes from in the cultures outside of the black culture and also within it, and how we took kind of all the bad stuff that was said about our hair and internalized it, and how today we're kind of moving away from that, but we still have a lot more to go, not just within the black community, but also definitely outside of it and how we view it. Children today are still told that they can't come with like cornrows or with their hair braided because it's like gangsta, this like associated with gangsta lifestyles, and we don't allow that here. And so that's definitely something that needs to change. We need to, outside world needs to appreciate our hair, and before they steal it and use it and then try to make it hip and say that, you know, this some brand new thing. But yeah, so learn to respect for our own culture and have other people outside of it respect it as well. So I thought this was a very good book, a good examination of Black hair culture, of our own story, and how we can move forward from where we are now. We still have a long way to go in how we view Black hair ourselves, and that like you can rock whatever you want, style it however you want. If you want to have it like, you know, you want to have straight hair, you want to have it braided, that's up to you. But empower yourself. Remember that hair is part of you, and that you should do really whatever it is you want to it. But make sure that it isn't like driven by some need to blend in with a culture that doesn't value you. So I really like this book. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I recommend it to everyone who is interested in Black hair culture, or interested in why African American or people of African descent are not happy when people appropriate our hairstyles and try to use it as hip and stuff, especially when we're still penalized for using those hairstyles. I think this is a good book for you. So that is it for this review. Let me know down below if you read any other books on Black hair culture, and let me know how those are. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at GhostReads28, on Instagram at Justin the Ghost Reader, and also on Goodreads. The link to that is down in the description box below. So as always, keep reading, and Black Lives Matter.